one of the things that the administration is desperately trying to do is make sure that this doesn't lead us into World War III.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine entering its 12th day as civilians continue to flee the country.
Plus, how you can help Ukrainian refugees thanks to a local donation drive beginning this morning.
And we're continuing to track that snow. We're going to give you the latest on what to expect coming up.
Good snowy Monday morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Josh Breider. Lee Linscheid is on vacation. Say it ain't snow.
Gosh, what a flip-flop from a couple days ago. We got rid of all the snow. Mother Nature.
Thunderstorms on Saturday.
Tornadoes. And Mother Nature rinsed us all clean just to dump a fresh layer of snow on us.
I pulled the shade open this morning. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, we got a couple inches out there already, and it is not done yet. So let's get to Julian Seawright and your alert day forecast. Hey there, Julian.
That's right, guys. We are looking at winter weather advisories to be in effect for us until about noon for all of southern Wisconsin and areas into northern Illinois and eastern Iowa as well. But as we kick things off, this is what we're seeing for our details into our alert day. Light to occasional heavy snow showers are going to be expected throughout much of this morning. We're going to be seeing accumulations of 3 to 5 inches, mainly for areas that are going to be south of the Dells and even closer into the Chicago or to the Illinois state line, where we're going to be seeing a bit more of some isolated and even more snowfall totals around 6 inches. But as you can see outside of our sky cam, as of right now, we are looking at some freezing fog as we are waking up this morning, which has dropped our visibility in southern Wisconsin, not only just because of the snow, but of that fog as well. Some areas are not even seeing a mile in terms of visibility, even though for us, well, we just dropped again here in Madison to 1 3/4 of visibility for us. But this is what we're going to be seeing in terms of that system. Keeping our eye on it over the past 3 hours, this is what we're starting to see now. We're now into our 6 o'clock hour, looking at a bit more heavier bands starting to enter into Dane County as it's starting to spread itself easternly as we continue throughout much of this morning. In terms of our commutes, just know we are looking for areas to be snow covered, especially residential roads. Slick spots are going to be expected, especially on the major highways, but for the most part, we're going to be seeing much more treacherous conditions into the early morning, around lunchtime, and going into the evening commutes, looking for improvements for us. However, this is what we're going to see throughout much of this morning. Expect the snow to begin to start to taper off as we get into the later part of this morning. As we approach the afternoon around lunchtime, we're going to see it pretty much be done at that most part. And then once we get into the rest of this evening, we're going to see cloudy conditions for us. It's going to be much more quiet as we transition into tonight. Temperatures will drop well below freezing, but we're going to see improvements going into our Tuesday as 40-degree temperatures come back with that shift in winds coming in from the south, bringing in some warmer temperatures for us. But once again, though, 3 to 5 inches of snow is what we're going to be expecting for southern Wisconsin and areas into about north of the Dells, 1 to 3 inches, especially into the northeast. As we take a look, though, we are going to be keeping an eye on another chance of seeing some snowy conditions going into Thursday night, transitioning into our Friday morning. But aside from that, we are getting a couple days of a break of what it seems like for Tuesday and Wednesday. But then as we get into Thursday, Friday, looking for more activity and colder temperatures going into the weekend. As we go back into next week, well, we have a chance of seeing some more consistent spring-like weather for us. But until then, we got to get through our snowy Monday, guys, of our alert day, and then we're going to be seeing a bit more sunshine for the next couple of days.
All right, Julian, those snow plows helping us out. All 32 of the city's snow plows were out overnight. A lot of them are going to be out this morning, so give them some room, folks. While the main streets have been prepped with salt, city officials say drivers should still expect a pretty messy drive to work this morning.
Yeah, it was a little sloppy on the way into the station this morning. Some communities already issuing a snow emergency that includes Lodi, Evansville, and Janesville. They've all been in effect since early this morning. We're keeping a running list, and we'll bring any updates to you right here on News 3 Now this morning, and of course, channel3000.com.
Make sure you're getting winter weather updates on your First Warn weather app. It's free wherever you get your apps.
Now to the crisis in Ukraine this morning. We're learning 95% of Russia's combat forces have already entered Ukraine.
Meantime, Russian troops inch closer to Kyiv. CBS's Laura Podesta has the latest.
4 people, including 2 children, died from this attack in the Ukrainian city of Irpin. Just 15 miles from Kyiv, Russian forces shelled the city as they moved closer to the capital.
We know why we defend our country.
In Kyiv, hundreds of men are volunteering to fight.
We know what we are doing, and that's why we will win.
President Volodymyr Zelensky urged his people to not give up
Україні потрібні літаки.
and called on other nations to supply Ukraine with fighter jets, something the U.S. and Poland are working on.
We're talking with our Polish friends right now about what we might be able to do to backfill their needs if, in fact, they choose to provide these fighter jets to the Ukrainians.
Lawmakers are hopeful that a $10 billion aid package for Ukraine can be passed as soon as this week.
CBS's Laura Podesta reporting there. Russian news agencies are reporting that Moscow has agreed to a ceasefire around several cities this morning to allow for humanitarian corridors. It is unclear yet whether that is actually happening.
We're now seeing just how devastating these Russian attacks are. Just a warning, the clip you're about to see may be tough to watch.
Дітей 200-х вивозили, мирне населення, маленькі.
Since Russia began its onslaught against Ukraine, more than 1.5 million people have fled the country. Officials say that's creating Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II. But U.S. leaders say Ukraine will come out on top.
Vladimir Putin continues to press this aggression. That's why I say I'm afraid this could go on for some time. But it's going to end, and it's going to end with Ukraine prevailing.
Sunday, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announced the House plans to pass $10 billion in emergency aid to Ukraine, adding that work is underway to ban Russian energy imports. However, Ukrainian officials say it's still not enough to stop Russia's deadly attack.
The aggressor's audacity is a clear signal to the West that sanctions imposed against Russia are not enough.
Ukraine has repeatedly asked the U.S. to enact a no-fly zone, but officials note doing so is easier said than done.
The no-fly zone is very difficult because if the United States participated in a no-fly zone, it would involve the United States downing Russian aircraft, the Russians potentially downing American aircraft, the necessity of destroying anti-aircraft systems, potentially even within Russian territory. So one of the things that the administration is desperately trying to do is make sure that this doesn't lead us into World War III.
Here's what's happening later this week. Ukrainian and Russian officials will meet for a third time today to discuss a ceasefire. Vice President Kamala Harris will travel to Poland to assist refugees later this week to speak with military officials.
Back in Wisconsin, a Ukrainian family has already arrived in Milwaukee, fleeing from the terror in their home country. Milwaukee's acting mayor spoke at a Ukrainian church service on Sunday, saying the city fully plans to support them and others.
I stand here today because I want to ensure you and your community that Milwaukee welcomes immigrants and refugees alike. Like so many others, I want to show my alignment with you.
Here in Madison, protesting has continued against Russia's attack on Ukraine, but this weekend's event, organizers say their message differs from that of President Biden and local lawmakers. Our Brad Hamilton reports.
This morning, dozens of protesters joined in solidarity with working-class citizens of Ukraine, demanding resources for their people and nonviolent action.
There have been other Ukraine rallies in the past week, but they've essentially bought into the United States portrayal of this conflict as between the good democratic government in Kiev and a tyrannical regime in Russia.
Bringing together several activist groups for a fight against imperialism, the progression of violence, and war, the arguments made by speakers at the rally had a consistent frustration with hypocrisy of U.S. and NATO intervention.
They're involved in bombing and killing people all over the world as well.
Organizers hope that this rally will help to encourage a shift in mindset for people who believe that sanctions and sending weapons are the only solution.
I think that we really need to be demanding that if we're going to ask for our government to do anything, they should be flooding Ukraine and Poland with food.
Echoing the sentiments of speakers throughout this event, many say the actions taken by Western countries will only lead to more violence.
But we're really out here because we agree we cannot intervene in Ukraine without hurting even more Ukrainian citizens.
Protesters also called for the United States to open their borders to Ukrainian refugees, saying that aid would be more useful than weapons.
That was Brad Hamilton reporting. Earlier this week, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin joined a bipartisan coalition of senators pushing protected status for refugees. Listening to that group was the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, who has established an 18-month program for Ukrainians living in the U.S. since March 1st.
To help aid the 1.5 million Ukrainians seeking refuge, Madison Country Day School is hosting a relief drive. Non-perishable food, clothing, and sleeping bags are just some of the things desperately needed by countries neighboring Ukraine this morning. You can drop off those items beginning this morning up until Thursday night. And for a full list of what's needed, you can head to our Channel 3000 mobile app.
Amid the conflict in Ukraine, Netflix has announced it'll stop selling and providing its streaming video service in Russia. The move to support Ukraine will impact about 1 million Netflix subscribers in Russia. Earlier this week, the streaming service paused all of its production in Russia, including 4 original Russian TV series. In another move, Netflix is making its documentary Winter on Fire, Ukraine's Fight for Freedom, available to watch for free. Netflix hasn't specified what would happen to existing subscriber accounts in Russia, alongside when or if service might resume there.
American Express has suspended operations in Russia. Sunday, the company said that globally issued American Express cards will no longer work in Russia. Cards issued in Russia won't work outside the country either. American Express also saying it is ending its business operations in Belarus. The move comes a day after Visa and MasterCard announced they were also suspending all Russian operations. 6:11 is your time. Madison's bike paths will soon be a lot more decorated. We'll share what you can expect with the Art Bikes program going into its second year, coming up in the 6:08.
Plus, before you put your money toward hair, skin, or nail supplements, we're finding out if they actually work.
Come experience Floor & Decor's grand opening in Monona. With our unmatched selection of tile, wood, stone, laminate, vinyl, and more, all at everyday low prices, at Floor & Decor, you'll discover the perfect products for shopping on trend and on budget, all in one stop. Plus, our helpful associates make realizing your vision easy from start to finish, so your upgrade has never been more you. Discover your new Floor & Decor, now open in Monona, or visit us online at flooranddecor.com.
Over these past months, we've all experienced changes and a great deal of reflection. But here's a change you can truly be excited about. Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, permanently removes the fat from your stomach, hips and thighs, and back.
I walked past mirrors. I didn't want to see any of that. I can't even tell you how excited I am about Sono Bello and what they've done for me.
I'm just living my best life now because I'm being the best that I can be.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently. Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. Plus, get $250 off instantly. You deserve to do something for you. Call 1-888-512-1753 or go to sonobello.com now.
I can't take it anymore. It's time for a change. Buy one window, get one free? Perfect.
I can change, honey.
Not you. These drafty old windows.
Oh.
It's time for a change. Buy one window, get one free from Feldco.
Buy one, get one free, and soon. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
Did you know you can switch to a 5-star United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan today? Hi, I'm Joanne Fisher, your local sales director in southern Wisconsin. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has awarded a United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan in southern Wisconsin 5 out of 5 stars for quality and service. If your current Medicare plan isn't meeting your needs, you can switch to a 5-star United Healthcare Medicare Advantage plan in southern Wisconsin today. Call 1-800-861-5410.
When searching for your dream home, it's important to figure out what style of home you like. Victorian, cottage, Tudor. It's also important to protect your home and all the dreams that come with it. When looking for your dream home, keep in mind good things come in pairs, like dual sinks, Jonathan and me.
And pairing your home and auto insurance, which can get you one step closer to achieving your dream.
Pretty sure people call it bundling.
Bundle your home and auto insurance and save up to 28%.
Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast. News 3 Now this morning.
And as we are stepping outside once again, well, we are looking at bigger snowflakes here on our weather patio as we're into our 6 o'clock hour. We're going to be seeing that heavier band of snow starting to enter its way, coming in from the west. But here's a couple looks from some of our sky cams. We mentioned visibility being very obscured throughout much of southern Wisconsin. And this is our sky cam out in Platteville as a live look as of right now. Really not going to see much of it, but much of a winter wonderland is really all we are seeing over into our friends into the southwest. And for us here in Madison, it's even a bit more obscured for us as we're looking at the freezing fog really starting to settle down into the western parts of Dane County. Now, here's a look at our visibility. Once again, it is going to be very obscured throughout much of the morning, so make sure that you're using your low beams as you are continuing to do your morning commutes. Now, as we take a look, as I mentioned, we are seeing that heavier band of snow starting to roll its way into Dane County, starting to push its way through Madison, and it's going to continue to track its way east throughout much of this morning. So we're going to be seeing some heavier bands throughout the next hour or even so. But here's an updated look at our road conditions over the next few hours. Going into about the lunchtime hour, we're going to be seeing improvements, especially on major roadways as the snow starts to taper down and the plows continue to do their thing. But as we go into this evening, well, we're looking for pretty good conditions in terms of driving, especially on major roadways. However, residential roads could still be seeing some slick spots and snow-covered conditions as well. We'll continue to update you on this in a few moments. Until then, let's toss it back to you guys.
A very snow-covered Julian Seawright out on the patio this morning.
I'm my own snowman.
We're going to be able to measure that snow on top of your hair pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, it's really coming down. It won't take long at all. Julian, thanks. Quick update. We're getting a lot more closings and delays. Mount Horeb and Richland closed for the day.
Oh, wow.
We have dozens up on the Channel 3000 site right now if you want to take a look.
You know, yeah, live look outside, you can really tell it is coming down out there, so make sure you are staying up to date on the latest. Well, time to see what's happening in the 608. We're seeing all that snow there, and it's hard to even talk about this next story or think about this next story, but with spring on the horizon, the Madison B-Cycles will be back out on the streets later this month. They're getting ready for what they're calling the biggest year ever. The Art Bike program also returning for its second year. You'll remember my previous reporting in the 608 of Madison B-Cycles' goal of bringing positive change to the area beyond the bike path. They're currently open to new sponsors to sponsor the Art Bikes in 2022. One of those sponsors is Curtis Hall of TDS, who's excited about the positive difference already being seen in the community. And for him, it's personal.
It was important for me because I wanted to support Mentoring Positives, which is a local nonprofit that makes a huge difference in the community with at-risk youth and troubled adolescents. And it kind of hits home to me because I was raised in foster care and we didn't have a lot of programs like that. And so it gave me the opportunity to use the B-Cycle platform and the TDS platform to make a difference in the community that I can't necessarily make as a regular person, but I can through the program.
Last year, Madison's B-Cycles Art Bike program brought awareness to 18 local causes with the help of 13 local sponsors and 21 local artists, helping raise thousands of dollars in donations to the causes represented on the bikes. The unveiling of this year's lineup will take place later this spring, and to learn more on how you can help, you can go to the story at channel3000.com.
Cool to see this program growing, Josh.
Doesn't it get you excited for spring, too? That's why it's like we're a week away from them bringing the bikes back out on March 15th, so it's hard to even think about biking when you see the snow out there this morning.
A lot of people were out over the weekend enjoying some of that nice weather while it lasted.
Yeah, a lot of bikes, a lot of dog walking. I saw it all.
Yeah, the snow will most likely be short-lived, though, and hopefully here we'll get some good weather by the middle of the month so we can get those bikes out without a hitch.
We know it'll be here eventually, right?
Soon enough.
Well, remember, you can let me know what inspires you in the 608 anytime. Just reach out on social media or email for a chance to be featured.
Consumer Reports this morning. Some supplements promise shinier, healthier hair, fewer wrinkles, and stronger fingernails. But the big question is, do they actually work? Before you spend your money, Consumer Reports has the facts you need to know. Drugstore shelves are full of supplements that promise to improve hair, nails, and skin. A month's supply can cost you anywhere from a few dollars to over $100. Most of these contain ingredients like vitamins A, C, and E, coenzyme Q10, also biotin, which is a B vitamin. Hair supplements often contain manganese and selenium, as well as fatty acids like fish oil and flaxseed oil. All of it might sound good, but where's the science that says it works?
Well, if your body has a nutrient deficiency, it can cause changes to the hair and sometimes to the skin and nails. Like not getting enough vitamin A or vitamin E can cause rough, scaly patches on the skin. And a biotin deficiency can cause eczema and even hair loss.
But deficiencies are relatively uncommon. Most people can get the necessary nutrients through a healthy diet. And experts say there's no good evidence that taking a supplement will help with normal aging-related hair loss or nail damage or give you healthier skin. What's worse, getting too much of a nutrient can be bad. Like taking too much vitamin A can actually trigger hair loss. But millions of people do take supplements. If that's you, shop carefully.
Dietary supplements are not tightly regulated by the FDA. They might contain substances not listed on the label, or they might contain more or less of an ingredient than promised.
If you choose to take supplements, Consumer Reports suggests you choose one whose contents have been verified or certified by one of these 4 groups. And that's this week's Consumer Reports. Despite the chaos happening throughout Ukraine, Airbnb hosts are being flooded with bookings from people all over the world, even though the guests have no plans to visit. It's part of a social media campaign to funnel money to Ukrainians in need of financial assistance as Russian forces continue to bombard their country and cut off services. Airbnb says on March 2nd and 3rd, guests from around the world booked more than 61,000 nights in Ukraine. More than half of those nights were booked by Americans. Organizers of the campaign are urging people to make sure that the rentals are operated by individuals, not companies. Airbnb has said that it's offering some temporary housing in neighboring countries to up to 100,000 Ukrainians who are fleeing their country. It's also waiving guests and host fees in the country.
You may be feeling some pain at the pump this morning. Given the conflict in Ukraine for the first time since 2008, gas prices are now topping $4 a gallon. Gas has soared 28 cents in the last 3 days and 46 cents since Russia began invading Ukraine. Gas prices in California are the highest in the U.S. at more than $5 a gallon.
621, 3 town clerks from around Wisconsin are joining together in a new campaign to build trust in our state's elections. We'll have details on that in our next half hour.
Go to Amazon.com skills to enable Channel 3000 news briefs.
Cobuson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobuson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobuson.com to apply.
Come join the amazing team of compassionate caregivers at the one and only Attic Angel Community. Attic Angel Community of Madison is looking for skilled RNs and CNAs and offers shift differentials and on-demand pay, tuition reimbursement, wellness center, and much more. CNAs starting at $18 an hour. We also offer rewarding careers in housekeeping and food service. Apply online today at atticangel.org. Come join the one and only Attic Angel Community.
Instead of being impartial, media outlets have become advocates for the Democrat Party. They got Joe Biden, who campaigned from his basement, elected president. Now they're covering up the disasters his policies created by attacking and censoring anyone who exposes the failures. But they can't hide inflation, higher gas prices, and rising crime from the people devastated by them. I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message. I will continue to ask questions and uncover the truth.
Everyone's invited to the prom. From the creators of the Book of Mormon, Elf and the Drowsy Chaperone, The Prom is a musical comedy about big Broadway stars on a mission to change the world and the love they discover that unites them all. The Prom makes you believe in musical comedy again. So full of happiness that you think your heart is about to burst. Everyone deserves a chance to celebrate.
Everyone's invited to the prom. Get your tickets at overture.org.
Deep in credit card debt? Did you know Credit Associates can help you reduce that debt? It's not nearly as complicated as you think. Let me show you what I mean. First, there's the total amount of credit card debt you owe. Whoa! We can reduce that by almost half. Second, how about those decades you'll be in debt? reduce that down to as little as 24 to 36 months, giving you up to 20 debt-free years back. Lastly, how about the endless hours of stress and anxiety from being in debt? We can help reduce that too. It's easy to get started. Call now to see how Credit Associates can reduce your debt and save you thousands. The information is free and there's no risk to call. 1-800-949-3849. Call Credit Associates now to start living better, debt-free. 1-800-949-3849.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
My name is Mike Williams. I've been driving school bus off and on for 21 years. Here at our terminal, we're kind of like a family too. Somebody has an issue with a bus, other people kick in and help and get the job done.
We're back at 6:25 on a Monday morning. Our Charlotte Deleste showing us some love to the 7th grade boys basketball team at Our Lady Queen of Peace. They won the Maisel Championship on Sunday. That's the Catholic Schools League in Madison.
Congratulations. Nice looking trophy there. Way to go, guys.
Bringing home the hardware.
Love to see it. If you want to share your morning with us, just send us a picture. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. If you post on social media, we'll find it and we'll post your favorites. All
now
right.
to that alert day. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to say we love to see it. I know Julian loves to see weather like this. A little bit more of an active morning out there. But after like some spring-like weather over the weekend, we kind of got a little tease. Yeah. And then they ripped it out from underneath us again.
Absolutely. Especially now that we're back to that winter-like feel for us. And I am nerding out a little bit this morning. It's definitely exciting to see some snowfall this morning, especially since it's not an overly amount of snow. Now, as we take a look, however, we are seeing some more of those heavier bands of snow starting to roll into Dane County for us. But as we continue throughout much of this morning, we'll start to see it start to taper off later on. We'll have more of this update coming up in a few moments.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's Make My Mondays at Hy-Vee. This Monday, get strawberries for just 99 cents. That's right, get a pound of strawberries for just 99 cents. Monday only. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
Govan Cars is having a huge winter sale with the largest selection of vehicles under $15,995 or $249 per month. That's right, don't miss out on our winter sale with the best selection of SUVs, cars, or vans under $15,995 or $249 per month. We have one of the largest selections of vehicles in Dane County with over 500 vehicles in stock. So just come on in and ask for me, Crystal the Pistol, Govan. Go to Govan Cars, east or west.
You gotta go to Govan, GovanCars.com.
This is the house that angels built. Attic Angels Senior Living Community is built on a foundation of authentic, local care, a framework for living well, windows to take in the beautiful future, and is crowned by the pride that one's home is one's castle. This is the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living, built with the help of angels.
When you need a paint to fit your lifestyle, Menards has got you covered. From protecting against this, or covering this, to refinishing this, we have a paint for you. You also need it in this color, or even this color. We can do that. Stop in and talk to one of our paint professionals to make your colors come to life. Right now at Menards, Dutch Boy Forever Interior Flat Paint is $28.47 after 11% rebate.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Arby's classic roast beef, adored by billions. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Want great hires? Happy and productive employees? And a strong local economy for years to come? It all starts with affordable, high-quality child care for Wisconsin families. Partner with a child care program in your community and reach your shared goals together with a grant from Project Growth. See all the ways partnership pays at projectgrowth.wi.gov.
News 3 Now is always on.
Get the Channel 3000 app, activate the push alerts, and we will send you breaking news, traffic, and weather alerts as it happens.
The Channel 3000 app. Get it now.
Powered by News 3 Now.
It's Make My Mondays at Hy-Vee. This Monday, get strawberries for just 99 cents. That's right, get a pound of strawberries for just 99 cents. Monday only. Scan the QR code or check out HyVeeDeals.com for more deals.
We're starting to see a bit heavier snow as we're waking up this morning. We'll give you the latest coming up.
And trying to restore trust in state elections, the new message hitting airwaves.
Plus, 7 years since the death of Tony Robinson, how his family and friends are still looking for support.
Good morning, everyone. Dozens of closings and delays by area schools this morning. Josh and I were talking this morning. You know, before you could get it on the website or on your phone or whatever, you just were glued to that TV screen in the morning, and you were waiting for your school and to see whether or not it was coming up. So if you're impatient, head to the website. Everything's listed right there.
It's a growing list, too. Every minute here, we're seeing some more come in. A messy return as winter making its return overnight after that spring-like weekend. A little bit of a change today.
Yeah, a couple inches out there already, and we are far from over with it yet. A lot of snow plows out this morning. City of Madison says all 32 of its trucks are out this morning, clearing those roadways for you. So let's get to your certified most accurate forecast now with what we can expect for the rest of the morning. Julian Seawright is in. Hey there, Julian.
Well, we're going to be expecting more of that snow throughout much of this morning, but start to taper off as we get into the back end of the morning. But we have that winter weather advisory in effect for all of southern Wisconsin and areas even to the northeast until about noon. And that also will encompass areas into the northeastern side of Iowa and for the northern side of Illinois near the state line. Now, as we continue throughout, we do have the alert day in effect for today, as we're going to be seeing that light snow throughout this morning. But as we're experiencing right now, heavy snow is going to be occasional throughout the system, and we're expecting accumulations of 3 to 5 inches for areas south of the Dells and closer to the Illinois line. Could even see about an inch or two more as well. Now, this is what we're looking at here. That real dynamic and active system is impacting the upper Midwest, and now it's starting to really encompass much of southern Wisconsin for us. As we can see, a bit of that darker shade of blue is starting to really hit the center of Dane County and starting to stretch its way into the east. So we're starting to see a bit more heavier flakes and heavier snowfall for us, but we're going to see some more light snows going in as we continue throughout the rest of this morning. Now, as we continue through going throughout the day, we're going to start to see going into around the noon hour, that snow is starting to taper off as we close in. And going into this evening, we are looking for quieter conditions for us. Just going to be seeing some cloudy conditions. Temperatures will drop well below freezing. And as we transition into Tuesday, the commute's going to be fine, but we are going to be seeing those warmer temperatures coming in from the south as 40s will be back into the forecast for us. But for today, we're going to be seeing throughout this event about 3 to 5 inches of snow for areas south of the Dells and potentially, once again, a bit more near the Illinois state line for us. Areas a bit to the north from the Dells into the northeast could see about 1 to 3 inches of snowfall. Now, the commutes, we are looking at some improvements, but with that second band of heavier snow rolling in, we are seeing a bit more snow-covered roads this morning. So again, take extra time and extra care this morning, but we are going to see it start to clear up as we get into the back end of today. Now, aside from the roads, we are looking at visibility to be obscured this morning as we are seeing freezing fog starting to roll into the Dane County area. We're seeing less than a mile of visibility this morning for us. But as we continue throughout the week, we are keeping an eye on another weather pattern that will start to bring in some snowfall for us, some light snow into southern Wisconsin. That's what we're going to be keeping our eye on for the 3 things we'll need to know. We're going to have a couple of days that will be quiet. So that'll be Tuesday and Wednesday. But then as we get into the back part of this week, Thursday, Friday, could see a bit more snow for us until we get into the weekend, where we're going to see a bit more chillier conditions and then a little bit more of a taste of some spring going into the following week, guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. Remember, you can stay on top of the changing conditions all morning long by downloading the First Warn Weather and Traffic app. Just search for Channel 3000 Weather in your app store. Well, starting today, there's a new PSA about building trust in our state's elections.
The new campaign features 3 town clerks from across the state. Election officials say their message is that local community members are entrusted with running Wisconsin's elections. The executive director of the League of Wisconsin Municipalities says the new campaign will help demonstrate our election process can be trusted. The PSA will run through the spring election. It comes on the heels of Michael Gableman releasing his investigation into the 2020 election in Wisconsin. The former state Supreme Court justice issued his report last Tuesday recommending that legislators decertify the results. And then Friday, the State Elections Commission issued a 7-page rebuttal saying most of Gableman's findings are inaccurate. You can find more on the response and that report up right now at channel3000.com.
This morning, a COVID testing site in Stoughton is now closed. Stoughton Health says it is closing the Django DX site because the need for testing is decreasing. Around the state, COVID cases are still trending downward. Friday's 7-day average for positive cases was a little over 500. Less than 4% of tests are coming back positive, and there were only 6 counties with very high levels of transmission.
We're expecting protests over COVID restrictions in our nation's capital this week. Members of the People's Convoy started arriving this weekend. We saw part of the convoy drive through our area Saturday. U.S. Capitol Police say an emergency declaration is being issued to make sure that officers in the D.C. area are able to operate and respond as needed.
6:35 right now, 7 years since the death of Tony Robinson. His family and friends are still looking for support from the community.
On the anniversary of Robinson's death Sunday, dozens once again called for the arrest of MPD officer Matt Kenny. Charges against Kenny were denied years ago by the district attorney, but now Robinson's supporters are taking their own action.
For the family, for Tony, for everyone who believes that people who murder someone else should be held accountable for it, especially when they have been given the task of protecting society.
Under Wisconsin law, a complaint can be taken directly to a judge to decide if there is probable cause. Organizers say the Social Justice Center is currently raising money to hire a lawyer to help make that happen. Well, we're sharing a call for action success after we saved a local man $250,000 after scammers broke into his retirement savings.
Leah Lenscheid learned some ways to protect your bank account from falling victim to the same problem.
I'm skeptical by nature.
If you were to buy Terry a beer,
Just kind of walk me through how this happened.
he'd have a lot of stories to tell you.
12 years regulating securities industry, and then 20-plus years at the law firm.
The scams he's seen over his years in finance.
That can happen to a lot of people, and it does happen to a lot of people.
And most recently, the cases he's solved as a call for action volunteer.
Dennis contacted us because he didn't know where else to turn.
Take a listen to his latest story, a soap opera involving a local man who was locked out of his retirement accounts after hackers stole his email, his passwords, and all communications with his brokerage firm.
What Dennis discovered through the brokerage firm that from about roughly August to November of last year, there were 27 unauthorized transactions in his retirement accounts, totaling a loss of over $215,000.
Close to $250,000 disappeared.
As you can imagine, you're not getting the right answers, and you found out that amount of money was taken away from your retirement. Very frustrated, deeply concerned, and you certainly can't blame them.
Dennis called for action, and Terry answered. He helped him navigate conversations with his brokerage firm, which law enforcement and watchdog agencies to alert what his next steps should be. The end to this story, successful. Dennis received every penny back, plus interest. Here's the thing, though.
Dennis's story isn't all that uncommon.
And they're not all happy endings, so we want to help you avoid this kind of narrative altogether. We asked Terry for 3 things you can do right now to keep your own account safe. Here's number 1. Check your brokerage firm and see what it does to protect your retirement savings. It should be right there on your website. If you can find one with a 100% security guarantee, go with that company. 2. Pick a good password and change it often. That would have protected Dennis's email, accounts, and $200,000. Lastly, keep an eye on your statements. Review them monthly, if not weekly, and be on the lookout for unusual changes.
Because really the burden is on the consumer here to make sure that their monies are secure. The brokerage firm or the custodian can do certain things to help, but it's up to you to monitor, to make sure that everything is going well.
These stories, all too common.
And you don't always hear about it because people feel embarrassed. They shouldn't be, though.
Terry's goal in telling them.
How did the scam work?
To keep you from being the next target.
They should share these stories so other people can learn from them.
In Madison, I'm Leah Lynchine for News 3 Now.
You might be wondering what to do if it's too late and your bank account's already been hacked. Tune in tomorrow morning. Leah will share Terry's advice on how to handle that situation to try to get your money back.
Time right now, 6:39. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside on a very snowy Monday morning. School watch is up and running. Many school delays and closings, including Mount Horeb schools, which just announced they are closed today. You can look for an update up on channel3000.com and our forecast update here in about 3 minutes away.
Badger men's basketball finishing off the regular season without their star player, the play that took him out.
The Lynx device stops reflux by using magnets to strengthen the muscle at the end of the esophagus, and this prevents acid from flowing from the stomach back into the esophagus.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Everyone deserves stylish and quality furniture. So I'm calling all Bobs to help get the word out. Like this, Bob. Me! Bob's has the everyday values you deserve without a single phony sale or gimmick. Like my complete 5-piece Tremont bedroom set, only $9.99. My Blake dining set with 6 chairs or 4 chairs and a storage bench, only $5.99. My Lux sectional, all 4 pieces, only $19.99. And of course, my state-of-the-art Bobapedic Prize Queen mattress, only $5.99. Shop what's in stock, in-store, or at mybobs.com.
Fresh out of Papa Murphy's kitchen, the Buffalo Ranch Chicken Pizza.
Actually, it's fresh out of my oven.
Dad, it's just an expression.
Grilled chicken, crunchy bacon, covered in creamy buffalo sauce. Now that is an expression.
Change the way you pizza.
This is the most important, amazingest game ever played in the universe. The pitcher is fierce. Danny Roberts is up at bat. And the crowd goes wild. He just won the game. Let's go! Yes!
We protect the car you drive.
Go get him, Danny.
And the dreams that drive you. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
At Pick and Save, we believe fresh is all about standards. That's why we do up to a 27-point inspection on our produce. Like for oranges, we check for color and scarring and more, keeping only the best of the best on our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh for everyone, we believe the juice is worth the squeeze. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Habitat for Humanity of Dane County continues to help hardworking families attain homeownership. By providing financial coaching, homeowners can manage their mortgage and other finances while building stability for their family. Strengthen our community. Support Habitat Dane County.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Schwab, General Surgeon at Stoughton Health. If you suffer from reflux, please join us for our upcoming seminar on the Lynx device, a new and innovative treatment to stop reflux.
Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
U.S. ad spending is set to surpass $300 billion by 2022, and the greater Madison area is poised for major growth. So now would be a great time to consider a career in multimedia sales and to join our team selling our top-rated media and digital solutions. Work for a company that offers training, autonomy, flexibility, income growth, upward mobility, and work-life balance with a competitive wage. If you have a passion to drive results for local businesses, then visit morganmurphymedia.com right now to apply.
And as we're taking a look again outside on our weather patio as the sun's starting to rise for us, well, it's just a bit brighter, but that heavy band of snow is still sticking around us. We're still looking at some bigger flakes out here on our weather patio as snow is going to continue throughout much of our morning. Now, as we keep a look on what we're seeing here, that heavy snow band is continuing to push itself east, and right behind it, we're going to be looking back to more light and even moderate snowfall for us as we continue throughout the rest of this morning hour. But expect this to start to taper off over the next few hours as we continue throughout the rest of the morning, especially once we get into around the 7 to 8 o'clock. We're going to be switching to mainly just some light snow throughout southern Wisconsin, and then after 8, we're going to start to see it taper off into the east, starting to go into the lunch hour of some more quieter conditions for us, especially for the 5 p.m. commutes. Expect all the snow to pretty much be done and just some cloudy conditions for us, and the temperatures will just be hovering into the freezing point as we go into tonight. Well, we are going to be expecting some colder conditions for us transitioning into our Tuesday, But the good news is we are going to be seeing Tuesday back in some warmer temperatures as 40s will be coming back, and we are looking for, once again, some more quieter conditions. Now, as we transition over to traffic, even though the roadways are starting to improve, we are still seeing, as you can see along the belt line, some issues are starting off for our traffic as we get our commute rolling for us. And a lot of this is weather related, as there are some snow-covered conditions, especially around Dane County as we're continuing throughout much of this morning. Over into the interstates, still looking at some crashes that have been reported along the interstate as of right now. But aside from that, again, make sure that you're giving yourself extra time and taking it slow on the roadways because of the slick spots and even for the ice or snow-covered areas throughout much of the roads throughout this morning. A bunch more of an update coming up in a few moments. Till then, let's go ahead and toss it back inside to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. Well, in typical Wisconsin fashion, here it is snowing this morning, but over the weekend, the state saw its first tornado of the year. The National Weather Service confirming an EF1 tornado touchdown in Stoughton Saturday night near Leslie Road. It had maximum speeds of up to 95 miles per hour with winds. Some people reported their sheds and storage buildings destroyed, but they're just grateful to be alive.
I was sitting in my living room when the piece of metal came flying through the window. Hear glass shatter, boom, pow, and here comes glass shattering through the window, and kind of covered myself up and hoped that everything turned out all right, and opened my eyes and there's tin in my room.
Some folks we spoke with said that cleanup process will be all hands on deck, and power was out for a lot of folks in that area but has since been restored. What a crazy couple of days of weather.
Yeah, I know. Extremes on both ends of the spectrum, huh?
All right, well, after a magical night last Tuesday to win the Big Ten regular season title, the Badger men's basketball team found themselves in a rut this weekend.
Yeah, the Badgers played a Nebraska Cornhuskers team that was last in the Big Ten. They played their hearts out, though. A close one to the finish. To the highlights, senior day at the Kohl Center. First half, Badgers commit 7 turnovers. They really struggled to find their rhythm. They went into the half down by 4, and then this is the play everybody is talking about. Badgers take a serious hit when Johnny Davis, going in for the layup, gets fouled, flagrant foul by Trey McGowan's. He would leave the game with a lower body injury and not return. Evan Flood from 24/7 Sports and CBS Sports says it's a right ankle sprain. No timetable yet for the return. Badgers, though, stepped up in Davis's absence. Not enough, though. Nebraska ends up winning this one 74-73. Oh, the last game for so many seniors at the Kohl Center. Brad Davison finishes with a team-high 20 points in his final game at the Kohl Center. Badgers are now the 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament, which starts on Friday.
Well, time to slow things down and see what's happening in the 608 this morning. With spring on the horizon, the Madison B-Cycles will be back out on the streets as soon as next week. Also returning this year is the Art Bike program. You'll remember my coverage of the new initiative in the 608 last year. Madison B-Cycle tells me it was an incredible first year in bringing change to Madison beyond the bike path. They brought awareness to 18 local causes with the help of 13 local sponsors and 21 local artists, helping raise thousands of dollars in donations to the causes represented on the art bikes. They're excited for what's in store for the program's future.
We want to support local artists, we want to support local nonprofits, but we're hoping to get more engagement. And we've already seen some really great interest from the community. We've already seen 20 nonprofits submit interest forms, and we've had over 20 artists submit forms as well. So we expect to see a lot more bikes on the road this year.
The unveiling of this year's Art Bikes lineup will take place later this spring. They've already seen a huge outpouring of support from artists, but are still looking for some sponsorships and making it all come together. You can learn more on how you can help by going to channel3000.com.
The bikes look great. How do they ride, Josh?
Oh, they ride great.
Nice and smooth?
Nice and smooth. We were over there at Garver Feed Mill shooting that last week. Of course, we had to take it for a little spin around the,
how could you
around
not?
The building. And hey, March 15th is the big day. So a week from tomorrow is when they're going to be putting the bikes out. So as long as the weather holds up. Last year it snowed on opening day, if you remember my reporting. So
yeah, it did, didn't it? Well, hopefully we get a little bit of time to warm up here and melt some of this snow before the big opening day.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. Remember, you can always let me know what inspires you by reaching out on social media or email. Well, coming up in the morning sprint, the DNR's latest warning for ice fishers here in southern Wisconsin.
And if you've got a little kiddo turning 3 soon, we'd love to share their picture on TV. We'll also have an update on the crisis in Ukraine. We do want to say happy birthday to Liam and all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with News 3 Now this morning.
Look Who's 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
It's Ford Truck Month, America. With new inventory arriving daily, it's time to get after it in a Ford F-150 and a Ford Ranger. Stop by your local Ford dealer today and let us help you custom order your truck your way. Then we'll get after building it. It's Ford Truck Month. Visit your local Ford dealer today. Order your F-150 to lock in 0% financing for 66 months and $500 cash, plus an extra $1,000 retailer order bonus.
Your mission, stand up to moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis and take it on with Rinvoq. Rinvoq, a once-daily pill, can dramatically improve symptoms. Rinvoq helps tame pain, stiffness, swelling, and for some, Rinvoq can even significantly reduce RA fatigue. That's Rinvoq relief. With RA, your overactive immune system attacks your joints. Rinvoq regulates it to help stop the attack.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Talk to your rheumatologist about Rinvoq relief. Rinvoq, make it your mission. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Rinvoq.
Finding the right ingredients for a healthy lifestyle can be tricky. That's why SSM Health and News 3 Now are here to help.
Our Time for Kids Recipe for Health experts use online conversations and on-air reports to answer your health questions.
So tell us, what topics would your family like to hear about? What questions do you have?
Use the handy feedback form on our Time for Kids page to share what matters most to your family's health. And together,
let's take time for kids.
I'm Rebecca, and you might know me from reality TV. And this was my stubborn body fat that I just couldn't get rid of. But then I went to Sono Bello, and they permanently removed my body fat in just one visit.
It is so intensely gratifying for one visit to make this big of a change. It's amazing.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
It feels incredible to look down and it's flat. Thank you again, Sono Bello. I'm so happy.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation and find out how you can get $250 off instantly. Call 1-800-595-1532 or go to sonobello.com.
RHD Plumbing, a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
6:52, time for the morning sprint.
We start with Julian Seawright with the latest on an alert day forecast. Julian?
That's right. We still have that winter weather advisory that will be in effect until noon, but expect lighter snowfall throughout the later parts of this morning. And this is what we're seeing as we're tracking the snow on our radar as of right now. The system is going to continue to push itself east along southern Wisconsin, but the heaviest band of snow is still into Dane County, but we can see just a couple more rounds of heavy snow. But behind it, we're going to be looking at some light snowfall throughout the later part of this morning and starting to clear off as we get into the rest of this afternoon. Just know, though, for driving concerns, it's going to be slippery, and there are snow-covered areas throughout much of southern Wisconsin. So, again, make sure that you're giving yourself extra time and taking it slow throughout the morning. Now, for those who do have school this morning, we are going to be seeing the snowfall start to clear off, especially as we get into the afternoon. But going into the bus drop-off, it's still going to be around freezing, but we are going to be seeing some quieter conditions. Over to you guys.
All right, thank you, Julian. To the crisis in Ukraine now. Russia continues to advance toward Kyiv while the severity of the attacks gets worse. Since Russia invaded 2 weeks ago, more than 1.5 million people have fled the country.
TikTok is restricting some features in Russia in light of President Vladimir Putin's new law penalizing what he calls fake news. The social media app is suspending live streaming and new content from Russia for the time being. Under a new law, anyone that spreads what Russia terms misinformation about its military could be subject to a 15-year prison sentence.
A convoy of truckers protesting COVID restrictions has made its way to Washington. The convoy traveled through Wisconsin this weekend, passing through Madison Saturday. U.S. Capitol Police say an emergency declaration is being issued there to make sure that officers are able to operate and respond as needed.
As COVID restrictions are lifting, frontline workers, survivors, and those who died from the virus are being honored in D.C. This COVID-19 Hope Quilt was displayed in front of the Lincoln Memorial over the weekend to mark 2 years of the pandemic.
Bowlers around the state were bowling for colon Sunday. The UW Carbone Cancer's 21st annual event was yesterday. 5 bowling alleys in Wisconsin, including 3 in the Madison area, participated. All the money will benefit GI cancer research. Even if you didn't get a chance to go bowling yesterday, you can still support the center's efforts by donating online.
A new study of overweight and obese people finds making small changes, such as slightly reducing calories or taking 2,000 more steps a day, may not help much over the long term. Researchers in Canada found the small change approach led to reduced weight for 6 months and a year, but by 2 years, it was no more effective at preventing weight gain than monitoring alone.
Dr. Seuss Enterprises enlisting a diverse group of up-and-coming authors and artists to write and illustrate new books with some previously unpublished sketches of creatures. Last year, the company shelved 6 older books with racist caricatures.
As it starts to warm up, a reminder for ice fishers this morning: you now have to remove your shanties from state waterways. The DNR says that applies to inland waters south of Highway 64. All shanties statewide need to be removed by March 15th.
And before we even get to that warm-up, we're back to more wintry-like conditions for us. The snow is what we've been tracking all morning, is what we're going to continue to track this morning until we get into our afternoons. We can see a bit of heavier bands of snow still continuing to sweep through southern Wisconsin, especially Dane County, as it has an easterly track. But behind it, you can see some more of that lighter snow and some flurries are going to be on the way for us before we see this event ending itself later into this morning. Now, as we take a look, as we can see, as it starts to clear back out, going into around lunchtime, we could be seeing some pop-up light flurries, but for the most part, it's going to taper off, and we're looking at quieter conditions going into the evening commute. Again, for areas west or south of the Dells, we are looking between 3 to 5 inches of snow to be expected for us, especially for these heavier bands of snow that are starting to sweep their way through. Into the Dells and to the northeast, could be seeing about 1 to 3 inches of snow. But just going to planning out the rest of the day, just know that the afternoon, we're going to be seeing much more quieter conditions and even more improved conditions for us as well. And we're going to be seeing after this quiet conditions going for Tuesday and Wednesday, but more snow coming in for Wednesday or for Thursday and Friday. Thank you all for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure. We'll have more news over the next hour.